right. This is Nate with DoWork Sports. We're here with the Lions basketball team. How y'all doing today?
Good, good.
All right, all right. So we'll start off with some introductions, and then we'll jump into the questions after that.
I'm Bo Burke. I'm a small forward and a senior.
Leslie Autry, shooting guard, and I'm a junior.
Kendrick Williamson, point guard, ninth grade.
Carson Simmons, center, junior.
Jonah Whip. I'm a junior and a small forward.
All right, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. So, when you think about last season, right? What's the biggest motivating factor for y'all going into this season?
So last season we ended up losing in a pretty critical game, pretty close to. It was in playoffs actually, and it was a game that we all knew that we should have pulled out the win on that one. And there's been a couple games last year that we just knew we should have done better, and that we should have probably won. And knowing that kind of motivates us like we got to do better because we need to win those games because the one that counted is the one that we lost, and that can't happen.
All right. So this next question, we'll make this next question for everybody, because I know everybody get coaching, right? So I know the preseason and before the season, coach has really been drilling a message into y'all, right? And so, what is that message that coach has really been preaching for y'all going into this season, and for you to be able to sustain your play throughout the season?
To do the little things. Carson said it last table. Do the little things. Coach has always been on to us for like boxing out, getting rebounds, stepping to where we're supposed to be, not just close to it, doing everything to a T correctly. The little things win games.
Don't take stuff for granted because we're not promised the next day, so we gotta cherish the things that we have right now.
What Bo said, just doing the little things like talking on screens, stuff like that, switching, and, you know,
I'd say one of the biggest things is being like self-motivated, being able to like do it for yourself. You can't have someone else tell you to put the work in. You got to have that work ethic to want to be able to do it yourself and get it done.
I would say he drills a lot about commitment, and he always says your team's only as strong as your weakest link. So he always says that in order for us to do like get our max potential and get our best out of practice and in games, like we all got to be bought in 100% to our program and doing our best.
All right, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. So my next question for you, I know your coach is going to hold you accountable, right? But how important is it for player-to-player accountability, and then for your teammates to be willing to listen and receive that feedback from one another?
I think it's very important. Over like the last week or this week, we've really been trying to like focus on that because we've been struggling with that lately. So it's very important and it's stuff that we're working on.
Yeah, it's super important. Coach has talked a lot about it, and I think we're doing a better job than we were last year of taking criticism the right way and not getting mad at each other just because we're trying to help one another.
So our coach recently used this analogy because a lot of teams, like, if accountability between players isn't there, then the only people that are giving players like accountability and coaching are the coaches. And he used this analogy: if there's something heavy, and he just tells one person, if there's one person pushing that, like 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 a he used a chair cart because it was in the gym. It was loaded down with metal chairs. He goes, if I tell Carson to go move that by himself, how hard do you think that's going to be? We were all like, it's pretty hard. He said, now what if I told Carson, Kendrick, Bo, Leslie, and Jonah to go push that same cart at the same time? Like, it takes everybody, not just coaches telling other players, but it also takes players to player accountability and coaching, and that's just important to build a good culture and have like good teammate chemistry and just be closer with each other in general.
I like it. I like it. I appreciate that. That's a great answer. Great answer. So y'all always hear all the time that you're student athletes, right? You've been hearing that your whole life. Student comes first. So how important is it to be able to manage, your classwork, your personal life, right, and then basketball at the same time?
I think it's very important. School is definitely has to be a priority along with your family before sports comes. I think it's very important.
I think it's definitely a hard thing to do, balancing just like school. Some people have jobs and like your personal life with basketball. It's hard and it takes a lot of attention to detail and like really paying attention and being disciplined with yourself and knowing what you got to do and when you got to do it. And so it's hard, but I mean it's doable. It takes a lot of self-discipline, but it's doable.
It's hard, like what he said. Like, like it's just hard managing a lot of work. Teachers giving you a lot of work and tests, studying. When you have late practices and you're tired, you don't want to study or nothing like anything like that. But you just have to hold yourself accountable and like discipline yourself and study.
I mean, I think it's really important to be able to balance all those things because that's just what life's gonna be. You're gonna have some things you got to get done, some things you want to get done. You got to balance them all together, make them all work with the time you've been given. So yeah, I think it's really important to find that balance between school, personal life, and the basketball you're trying to play.
Appreciate that. So my last question for y'all. I know you got younger athletes, younger basketball players. Y'all know that y'all have those younger basketball players looking up to y'all. What's one piece of advice that you would give them so that they're able to get into your position? Because like Dante talked about, it's only like, 15, 20 y'all on the team. So what advice would you give to those younger athletes to be where you are?
I would say don't shy away from the hard stuff. You gotta embrace the hard stuff to be able to see growth in what you're doing, what you're trying to accomplish.
I would say don't worry about your personal image of yourself on the court and like in practice because everybody's going to make mistakes. Everybody's going to get put on a highlight reel at one point, but you can't just worrying about how you look out there is just going to get in your head and you're not going to be able to like get really focused in on the game because you're worried about what you look like. So I would say just focus on the game, do your role to the best of your ability and then just do your best.
Definitely, the one thing I would say is give it everything all the time, no matter who's watching. Just give it 100%. At home, when you're doing your dribbling drills, when you're just shooting shots, just give it your all, 100% all the time. It doesn't matter where you're at or who's watching you. Just give it 100%.
I'd say one of the biggest things they have more time, so they need to utilize that time they've been given. They have the off season, they have in season, they got like 2-3 more years than we do. So put the time in you have to actually grow to make yourself better and a better basketball player.
Listen to what the coach is telling you, and don't catch an attitude when they're trying to help you fix your mistake. Because, like he said, you're gonna make mistakes all the time. Just listen, take it well, and then perform.
Fellas, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great season this season, all right?
Thank you.